What's up guys? So on today's video we're going to do an update on Matts R32. He's got everything all going now and he's got all the wiring done, all the intercooler piping. I think it's just the little things left. So I think we're going to take it in for a tune in the next couple of days. And also going to go and check out Nick's 2Jz S15. Not to mention that going to be 1000 horsepower street legal car, which is pretty crazy. That's just hectic. Yeah, and I'll give you guys a rundown on this build. What's up?
Hey, how's it going? Right, so since the last video we've finished all the wiring. It's not tidy yet, it's just all fitted and it runs now. We got it running. Got all the seats mounted and yeah, just getting it ready for a tune hopefully this week for the next track day.
Nice. Looks like he's got everything all mounted up. Yeah, so it looks like he's got all his brackets all made up now, holding his radiator and his headlights. And it looks like he's got the brackets all made up for his guards as well. This is pretty awesome. Definitely coming along. Also, if you see these tack welds, it's just due to because he's done the Saphira front end, which looks pretty awesome. Like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, so as I was saying about the reason why he's got these is just because to run these indicators, the Saphira indicators, he's got to cut off the front half of the Saphira guard and then weld it on. So what do we got going on today?
So I've got the factory guards fitted. I want to go for the factory look, but with the lock setup it pushes the wheel out quite a lot, so I've pulled the guards out. I've still got to get them to fit flush. With the cut and welded knuckles and GK Tech arms, it needs to fit perfect, so yeah.
So I think we're gonna take it for a quick lap down the road, just to see how much clearance we got on these guards. So at the moment you can see that it's not that much clearance. So we're gonna try and pull them out. Just stopped in at a mate of mine, Nick. So he's got a S15 1000 horsepower street car, so it's still in the process of building. So we'll just come and check it out and have a look at it. So we've got the S15 here. You know, you're talking some serious power when you've got to put a parachute on your car. Got the Rocket Bunny kit going on here. He's even got the big Brembos. Check those suckers out. Pretty insane. This thing looks like a weapon. Sup, bro?
Certainly not.
So yeah, come to have a look at the beast then.
Yeah, man, this weapon of a monster.
Pretty factory, really.
Really?
No, not at all. Where to start? Probably the boot. So, running all factory coloured glass, carbon boot lid, pretty light, and the fuel cell. So, running a fuel lab pump. So it's just a single, I think it's 1800 horsepower fuel pump. It's all billet inside. Inside, it's just this factory tank, but it's got baffles in it, so there's no need to run a fuel cell. Run a surge tank. So if you see, there's no surge tank in there, and we've got AN10 running through all underneath the car, just through the bulkhead fittings there, and you've got an AN8 return.
Oh, so you've cut out the boot here, I see.
Yeah, mate. No more boot.
No more boot. It's pretty wicked.
So, sister's boyfriend Jamie has done all the welding and things on it. Mate of mine down in Masterton did the cage, Matt. So, Mark, sorry. So thanks for that, Mark. Yeah, so this is the cable here for the parachute mount as well. So, it's not hooked up or anything, but we'll go through and see the levers soon. Just under here as well, we've got the billet battery mount as well. So that's just to keep it stable, going with one of the Optimum batteries. So they're like can mount them anywhere, fully sealed.
I see. So you've got a flex fuel sensor there as well?
Yep, so that's going to give me the E85 content and the temperature. So we can log that in the ECU. So this pump here is run with PWM signal from an electronic fuel pressure regulator as well. So that also has an output for the ECU, so I get fuel pressure from the regulator up there, which I'll show you in a sec. So I come around, running so there's two sets of Brembros there, just some spare wheels that I'm just borrowing at the moment. Got teen adjustees, R33 GDR diff, but it's got a CAS 2-way in it, and just GK Tech everything. Bottom arms. I do have to run Part Shop Max knuckles, just for the fact that it's going to be road legal, which is a little bit scary. If we step into the driver's seat.
So it looks like we're going to go into the office. I'll just come on this side. So man, what do you got going on in your office?
So basically, genuine nutty steering wheel. Quite nice, quite like it. Got a link dash mount on top of the electric steering column, so that way it just mounts there. Don't have to use any of the factory stuff, and they're road legal. Got a CD009 transmission with the GK Tech short shifter kit, so it makes it quite nice, all with the lockout.
So is that the 350?
350, well it's actually out of a 370, but they're virtually the same gearbox. Used an adapter plate out of the UK, and just modified everything on the adapter plate, machined off 25mm, and to run a triple plate clutch. So if you see by my feet here, there's a OBP pedal box. We can go through more of that in detail later, but that's just pretty much billet as well. Quite like my billet stuff. Also, if we look above, I've got a rear view mirror, which is a massive one, bolts to the roll cage, and we've got the parachute mount. So when I'm going too fast in the drags, that's obviously going to be forward, and there goes the parachute. Oh, should be an interesting feeling a chute pull you back and slow you down. On the ground here, just got a few bits and pieces. This is the tube that's going to run the heater core. So behind the dash we've got an electric heater core. So it's got a fan and 3 elements. So it's going to be separate, running through a Motec PDM, and we're going to have the fan and then the different modes of heating. So basically, if I want heating, I've got heating. If I just want to circulate air to the windscreen, I've got that too without having the elements on. So, tried to keep the interior fairly factory. It's a little bit hard with an electric column coming through here, but I've got the center console and everything, so I'll have cup holders and everything else to go with it, so which is quite good. Also have to have a stereo with Bluetooth, you know, just for those road trips. Right, so we'll move on to the engine bay anyway. This is where the good stuff is. So, here we have the engine. It's a fairly factory 2J. 2J, forged bottom end with big rods, big pistons. It's a brand new cylinder head that got CNC ported down in Christchurch at Horsepower Heads. We've got a Hypertune intake manifold, drive-by-wire throttle body, and clamped all round. We do have under here a billet coil kit as well, running R35 coils. So that's just to hold the power. This thing should be about 1000 horsepower, hopefully.
I see you got the twin rails for the injectors.
Yeah. So we'll run 12, and then on idle we'll run 6 of them, and then have them other set come on just under high load, and when you're pushing it. Don't really need them all the time. It's just for pushing it and running E85. You need heaps and heaps of fuel. So that's what I had to do.
What kind of turbo setup you got going on?
So it's a Precision 6870. They're rated to 1150 horsepower, and that's running obviously the clamps all the way down as well, and that's sitting on a Hypertune exhaust manifold that's been port matched to the head, and EGTs on every cylinder, so we can map that and just work out whether each cylinder is running a bit lean or a bit rich. If you see here, we've got the EGTs, so these are all going to be running back into the car through the grommet there, and that's going into an ECU master EGT to CAN converter to go to the link ECU. Just makes it nicer to tune. Also got 2 wastegates, 2 44 mils. That are proving to be a little bit of a pain to get into that dump pot.
I didn't see the electric water pump there.
Oh yes, so we're running an electric water pump which is mounted directly on the radiator, so it's just a plate you weld on, and then you're just running hoses straight in. I don't have a heater core in it, well, a water cooled one, so it's just running straight from here all the way through and then back in. So we're not doing anything with that. There's no water cooling to the turbo, so basically it's just simple. It's just the engine and the radiator. So it made it a better idea to do that. However, by putting that there, I did have to relocate the alternator to the other side, which seems about right. Yeah. However, if I ever have to go dry sump, we have to move that again. So hopefully no dry sump. Speaking of sump, it does have a Tommy baffle kit in it too, so that should hopefully stop a bit of surging and things, because as you can imagine, this thing is going to run to about 9000 RPM, and you are going to have a lot of oil running through the motor. With the head too, basically what we've got is solid buckets, so it's all shimmed up, beehive springs and titanium retainers, billet collets, and it's all shimmed to the Kelford cam specs, and then we've got Gates racing timing belt as well, the nice blue there, brand new gears. It's all pretty much brand new. I think the only things used in the block, the crank, yeah, just the crank. So, and obviously the sump and things, because it's still wet sump. So there's no need for that. If you come over here as well, we have the reservoir for the pedal box on the inside. It's just the Tilton small series one, so it means we just don't have to take up a lot of room in the engine bay with that. I wanted it in the engine bay in case it spills, and in the incident where, say, something happens, there's no brake fluid in the car, because that's not very nice. We've also got one of the Aeroflow filters. I guess you call it a filter. Won't filter too much. However, this here will give me a lot more power. If you have a look at some of the other videos on YouTube, guys are making like an extra 50 horsepower over running one of these instead of an actual filter. So we'll soon see. I'll run it with both. I'll make one up, and we'll see how we get on with that. The GK Tech strut tops, just to drop it down so I can bring out a bit more camber and things. Teen suspension, which I actually had to modify the GK Tech top hats to fit the teen suspension, but that's all done, so that's alright. Got the Ganadors. So, Ben Rocket Bunny, there's no indicator in the guard here, so had to put an indicator on it somewhere. Right, basically we've got full Rocket Bunny kit. I'll leave that up actually. It's quite wide, obviously it's not screwed in at the moment, but just to give you some sort of an idea, that's how wide it is. These wheels here, I think they're 18 by 10s. Oh, they do sit in there a lot. So with the front bumper off, so it's a Hypertune intercooler with nice billet end tanks. The bends that they do as well, and it comes with the clamp on there. So if we just sort of pull this off, you can see that, well, we're out. So it's pretty nice and simple, and then obviously to get it back in, much the same.
So what size intercooler would you say that is? It's quite reasonably large, isn't it?
It's 100mm thick. I don't know the length or anything. We've got 3.5 inch on the cold side and 3 inch on the hot side. So if you see, it's pretty short piece of intercooler piping. It just goes straight down and through, and then the other side's fairly similar, coming up to the turbo there. Tried to keep it fairly simple. Coming down to the brakes as well, we've got a set of Subaru WRX STI rim rows.
Subaru.
Yeah mate, so I just developed an adapter bracket myself, and then we've got, it's an Evo 9 two-piece rotor. Good mate of mine, Hamish, had those spare and I just had to get them skimmed, and we're good with that. And then on the rear, we've got the other two, which are both STI rim rows as well. So essentially we've got six individual calipers off a WRX. So a little bit different. There's a mixture of different cars in the car, so it all sort of pieces together-ish.
So when do you reckon we'll see this car up to its finishing point?
Well, it depends on what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to get it wired, get it tuned and running. That way I can do some testing on it and just make sure everything's how I want it. Until that point, after that I'll get it painted in case I have to make any modifications. I've got Jeff at NZ Wiring, he's going to wire it in the next couple of months. I'm just waiting on a dash, ejectors and a PDM. So it's going to be running a PDM 32, which is Motec's 32 output range. Basically I can connect that to everything. So it's all CAN bus, so you want to turn your fuel pump on, send a command through the ECU, done. So it's just things like that. So indicators, lights, all on a Motec keypad, which is a 15-way keypad. It's about that big, and we'll just bolt that straight into underneath the radio. So that does all your indicators and everything. So yeah, but hopefully we should have it painted by the end of the year, all going well, and yeah, see you out on the track.
Out on the track and out on the street. So there you have it, Nick's insane 1000+ horsepower street legal, well soon to be street legal S15. Pretty wicked build. I've seen him do this build for quite some time now, and it's actually come out really well, you know. So but I'd like to see what it's gonna look like when it's all finished. So yeah, we forgot to mention that he actually used to daily this car with a SR20
DE Auto. So it used to be an SR20 Auto, and then what we did was stripped it all and cut it all up. And I don't know if it'll be a daily ever again, but it'll be something fun for Sundays.
So 1000 horsepower, surely it'll be fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, you need 1000 horsepower to go down to the shop for a loaf of bread, don't you? These days anyway, it's nothing.
Oh, there you have it guys, pretty wicked build. So I shall keep you guys updated with it in the next few months and go from there.